have updates on the criminal damaging in Kent and how the campus is responding.
The Portage County Sheriff made headlines recently for a politically charged post many deemed offensive. Now he is responding to all of the backlash.
A recent report reveals some good news for Ohio's economy. See what the report is and the ways it is contributing to local businesses.
And further measures are in place in Springfield after threats were reported against local schools. All this and more as KSTV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us this Wednesday evening. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Hayden Cruz.
We start tonight with updates about the graffiti on campus yesterday.
Eliza Washington has the story. Elijah, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Kent State University sent out an email regarding the criminal damaging taking place on campus properties. The interim director of public safety, Chris Jenkins, says the university does not tolerate this behavior and that Kent State Police will be conducting an investigation for each case. If you or anyone you know has any information regarding each incident, contact Kent State Police at 330-672-2212.
Thanks, Elijah. We now turn to our reporter, Nikki Gajeski.
Nikki, tell us more about how Ohio's natural beauty is boosting the economy.
Good evening. Yes, I took a trip to Cuyahoga Valley National Park where I discovered there is more green at the parks aside from the grass and trees.
Yellowstone, Zion, Sequoia, Cuyahoga, and Acadia.
Like Sifu, it's a bucket list item to visit old national parks, including Northeast Ohio's Cuyahoga Valley National Park. This goal is part of the reason why 2.9 million people visited Ohio's park, according to a new report.
To look at our visitation numbers and put through a lens of economics and social science.
Other takeaways from the National Parks report are an economic impact of $225 million for the local economy and with over 2,000 jobs.
We are a national park that's urban. We are in between two major cities, and we're intertwined with 14 different communities.
And the community is embracing the tourism.
It actually increased from $189 average to $264 average per night that people are spending because they're coming here to spend more nights.
As for visitors, Barnes says you can look in the parking lot and you'll see plates from different states. This just shows how much visitors, both locally and nationally, are quite literally driving the parks and the local economies.
Like, I just met someone not long ago, my friend. There's a couple that's actually traveling from Los Angeles all the way out there, right? Completely different part of the country.
I come here because it's a beautiful natural resource. There's lots of birds.
With an expansion of the parks, they anticipate putting some green in Ohio's pocket.
More attention to Ohio, brings more attention to the economy.
Barnes tells me the parks are actively working on more parking to accommodate this increase in visitors. Reporting for KSTV News, I'm Nikki Gajeski.
All right, Nikki, thank you. Well, the Portage County Sheriff responded to backlash from his recent Facebook post. Sheriff Bruce Zukowski made a post 4 days ago calling Vice President Kamala Harris a, quote, flip-flopping laughing hyena, and to write down the addresses of her supporters so the, quote, illegal human locusts have a place to live. In his response, he cited his First Amendment right and commitment to protect all citizens of the county. He did not take back his remarks, and the post remains up. The Ohio ACLU sent the sheriff a letter to which he did not respond.
The Kent State Board of Trustees welcomed the class of 2028, the highest class of freshman enrollment since 2019 and the 8th largest freshman class ever. Kent had a record number of applications, a 9% increase over the last year and 17% over the last two. The class of 2028 is also the most diverse, with 34% being first-generation college students with an average high school GPA of 3.61.
Kent State students have a chance to learn the basic steps of Latin dances for Hispanic Heritage Month. Voices and Rhythms, a night of discussion and dance featuring Samantha Ramirez Herrera, a filmmaker, civil rights activist, and entrepreneur, will have a sit-down discussion. Then we'll join Kent State's Francisco Torres to teach students basic steps of different Latin-style dances. This event takes place tomorrow from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the second-floor dining room of the Student Center.
The Wick Poetry Center is celebrating its 40th anniversary starting tomorrow. The event will focus on poetry's impact on science, health, social justice, and peace. It will also feature world-class poets through readings and workshops. There will be a gala held to honor the center's history and its impact on poets worldwide on Saturday. You can find out more information and register at wickpoetry.com.
Looking to get out and get moving? Well, tomorrow on campus you can join the Mindful Mile, a 1-mile walk around Kent campus where participants can learn about wellness and mindfulness, and several stops where they can receive a stamp on a ticket. Once that stamp is returned, you can be entered to win a prize. The mile will take place from 11:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. and begins and ends at Risman Plaza. Kent Stater TV's Emma Campbell will have more on the event tomorrow night at 6 p.m.
Join LaunchNet for a branding workshop tomorrow from 4 to 5 p.m. in the DI Hub. This hour-long session hosted by Teddy Wilson will help business owners figure out branding and designs and how they can be applied. It will include a presentation from Wilson and a working session among the participants.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Kent State. I'm anchor Eli Fetterspiel coming to you with tonight's weather. Currently, we are looking at our hourly forecast for this Wednesday evening. Right now at 6 p.m. we are looking at 78 degrees. We have had a partly cloudy day. We have kept at that 78 degrees for all of this Wednesday. We're going to be heading more into a bit of a colder night with 64 degrees with 8% chance of precipitation. And then we're going to head back into another steady day with partly cloudy skies at 61 degrees with another 8% chance of precipitation. Make sure to stick around for more from me covering our current statewide weather for this evening as well as our upcoming forecast for this week. Back to you, Liv and Hayden.
All right, thank you, Eli. Well, new safety resources are in place at schools in Springfield after multiple bomb threats following former President Donald Trump's allegations about Haitian immigrants during last week's presidential debate. Yesterday, Governor Mike DeWine and the state of Ohio implemented more safety measures at Springfield schools, like 2 Ohio State Highway Patrol troopers in each building and a surveillance tower outside of the high school. Even with the enhanced safety measures, schools are still reporting lower attendance records.
A new federal grant will help Ohio's 4 major cities save energy and cut emissions.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Dayton will use money from the Inflation Reduction Act to establish the Ohio High Performance Building Hub. This will connect building owners to resources to help them with technical guidance and financial solutions.
Buildings account for over 50% in greenhouse gas emissions in Ohio.
The United States Senate voted on a bill guaranteeing access to in vitro fertilization nationwide. What was their decision and the response?
A birthday bash was held for the longest living president. Find out who is performing and what politicians made appearances.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this. Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Welcome back. We check in with our correspondent Elijah Washington.
He now brings us updates from the world of politics. Good evening again, Elijah.
Hi, good evening again. I'm Elijah Washington, and here's the rundown of what's going on in national news. Yesterday was a national holiday, National Voter Registration Day. The day is celebrated each September, and the goal is to encourage citizens to get out and register to vote. Many organizations have reached out to public figures to use their social media platforms with the hope of encouraging the new generation of voters to register. If you haven't registered, no worries. The deadline to register to vote in Ohio is October 8th. On Tuesday, the Senate voted against blocking a bill guaranteeing access into in vitro fertilization nationwide. The vote tallied 51 to 44, with the Senate Republicans blocking the bill. Republicans previously blocked the same bill proposal back in June as they claimed it was a political show vote. Republicans have proposed alternate policies, but the Senate Democrats have blocked those proposals as they criticize that the policies are too restrictive. The U.S. Department of Justice filed a $100 million lawsuit against the two companies responsible for the March 26 collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. Grace Ocean Private Limited and Synergy Marine Private Limited corporations will be facing a potential hole, as the Department of Justice claims the amount filed will cover the cost of damages and repairs. Former President Jimmy Carter will be celebrating a huge milestone, his 100th birthday, on October 1st. The Carter Center threw a huge party yesterday at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, but Carter did not show up. That didn't stop the celebration, though, as his grandson Jason Carter gave some anecdotes on his behalf. The party included performances by B-52s, India Arie, and Eric Church. Reports of explosives found in a car near Donald Trump's rally in Long Island, New York, have been deemed false. The reports began to surface following the attempt of a second assassination on Sunday, September 15th, near his golf club in West Palm Beach. Law officials took time to debunk the claims as well as take down all social media posts related to the claim. The rally is expected to go on as planned. That's all I have for today's National Spotlight. I'm Elijah Washington. Take care.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Let's get back to our Kent State and Portage County weather forecast for this Wednesday evening. We'll also take a look at our surrounding areas, including weather statewide. Here we are showing our statewide view of tonight's weather. These major cities, we have our neighboring city, the Akron-Canton area, we're showing 79 degrees. Toledo with a similar 79 degrees. Columbus still having a blazing 88 degrees. And Cincinnati staying right next to it with Cincinnati at 89. We have then, as we go further down, 86 degrees for Athens, Ohio. Over there with Pittsburgh, we are still at 73, having a little bit cooler weather. We're enjoying some more of those last moments of summer weather as we are saying hello to fall very shortly. Make sure to check back tomorrow evening for more weather-related content and updates. As always, I am your Wednesday weather anchor, Eli Fetterspiel. See you next week, Portage County.
Thank you, Eli. Instagram is introducing a new teen account setting in order to protect minors on the app. Accounts for those under 18 will automatically be set to private, and only those who they are connected to will be able to send them messages, tag them to photos, or comment on their photos. Instagram's parent company Meta had recently been under fire regarding the dangers of social media on minors.
Southeastern North Carolina is dealing with high water left from Monday's tropical storm. In Carolina Beach, the massive flooding has forced the mayor to declare a state of emergency. Some areas receiving 18 to 20 inches of rain in less than 24 hours. Carolina Beach town officials said there were at least 20 water rescues on Monday. At least a dozen people are at a shelter at the Town Hall Rec Center or are staying at a local hotel.
We head international with updates of a second day of attacks in Lebanon. Yesterday at 3:30, several pagers simultaneously exploded, killing 12 people and injuring 2,700 others. The Islamist group Hezbollah took responsibility for that attack, and today even more pagers exploded, this time killing 14 and injuring at least 450 people. This is the latest instance of violence in Hezbollah's campaign against Israel, and they said they will not stop these attacks until Israel stops fighting Hamas.
For the first time in history, electric cars outnumber gas-powered cars in Norway. In August, all electric vehicles made up a record of 94.3% of registrations in Norway, mainly by sales of Tesla Model Y. Norwegian authorities have offered tax rebates on EVs in a bid to electrify transportation to meet climate commitments. Although a major oil and gas producer, Norway has set a target for all new cars being sold to be zero-emission vehicles by 2025, which would be 10 years ahead of their anticipated goal.
One of ESPN's top reporters is taking his talents to St. Bonaventure. We've got the details.
And the Cleveland Guardians took on the Minnesota Twins last night as part of their 4-game series this week. We'll show you the highlights later in sports.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Songs, even if they're bad, hundreds and hundreds of them, just to find a good one. Yeah. And then
I've been in this long enough. I feel like I know what I'm doing.
Knowing that you're basically like there and being
with that, but it has a special place in my heart. I grew up watching it so much. Have you guys seen it?
Your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
It's the end of an era. ESPN senior insider Adrian Wojnarowski has agreed to become the general manager of the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team.
Wojnarowski was known for his breaking news in the basketball world. Named Woj Bombs, he worked at ESPN since 2017 and Yahoo Sports before that.
He truly set the standard for great sports journalists. But speaking of great sports journalists, here's our own Dom O'Brien for sports news around Kent and beyond. Hi, Dom.
Oh, thank you guys. Much appreciated. And yes, the news of Woj retiring was on my bingo card for today, but I guess all things must come to an end. And we thank him for being one of the best sports journalists we have ever seen. But hello, everybody. We must start with some big news coming out of the WNBA today, and they were awarded they awarded Portland's new franchise. They gave a new franchise over to Portland, Oregon. It has now been named it was named the Portland Fire in 2000. After 2002, they ended up ceasing operations there without ever making the playoffs. So Portland, they will be led by the Bethal family, who also owns Portland's soccer team. The team is yet to be named, but it will make its debut at the Moda Center in 2026. That's the 15th expansion franchise for the WNBA. We'll now shift over to some local sports briefly, as the KSU volleyball team hosts Cleveland State tomorrow at 6 p.m. in the Mack Center. The Golden Flashes look to get back into the win column after a couple losses this weekend to Cincinnati and Xavier. Meanwhile, the Vikings have won their last 3 matches and look to keep that streak going. And for anyone that looks to attend the match, the first 200 students will receive a Kent State tumbler, so be sure to get there early if you want to add another water bottle to your collection. Now we'll go over to the Guardians, as they had the second of their 4-game series against the Minnesota Twins last night, and they kept on doing what they have been doing, the Twins being that Matt Wallner slaps one right by Andres Jimenez, and Ryan Jeffers beats the throw to get the first score of the game. And that wasn't all that they had in the tank, but the Guardians before that, Lane Thomas with a fast shot right down the middle. That is a beautiful homer over the 19-foot wall, make it a tie ball game 1-1. Top of the 5th now, and the Twins waste 0 time. Wallner gets his second hit of the night, the second RBI of the night, running in Byron Buxton. They extend the lead by 1. 2-1 here, then we move to the top of the 8th. Willie Castro, this one is smoked into right field. A nice 2-run homer that brings in Trevor Larnack from first base. And then Josh Naylor, he tried to get something going. He could not make any contact there. And that leaves it 4-1. The Twins get the victory, and they will end up playing again tonight in about, 20 minutes. But that's all we have for you in sports tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And be sure to check out our show Sports Corner every Monday at 8 p.m. I'm Dom O'Brien. Let's get back to the news.
All right, thank you, Dom. Well, last night you might have noticed the moon looked a little different. If you didn't, don't worry. We'll tell you all about it next.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I love my sister. My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Fire up those grills. It's National Cheeseburger Day. Although the creation of the cheeseburger is unknown, a Denver drive-in was the first to use the name cheeseburger. But luckily, there are many places right around Kent to get your burger fix. National chains are also running deals and discounts, so be on the lookout for those.
Sounds delicious. Well, singer Miley Cyrus is being sued for allegedly copying Bruno Mars on her 2023 hit song Flowers. According to a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles on Monday, Cyrus and two co-songwriters are accused of copying portions of Mars' song When I Was Your Man. The music group claims Cyrus's Grammy-winning song included unauthorized exploitation of several elements of the Mars 2023 single. The lawsuit is seeking damages in an amount to be determined in court, or the maximum of $150,000 per infringement. That is not so delicious.
Well, if you were looking up at the moon last night, you might have gotten a glimpse of the partial lunar eclipse of the full harvest moon.
For about an hour, it looked like a bite was taken out of the moon. Did we think it was a cheeseburger? It entered at 10:30 Eastern Standard and exited 11:16 p.m.
The next full moon will be October 17th. Well, before we get into this discussion, I want to give a brief shout out to Alexandria Manthe, a KSTV alum. Her package that she made today was ran on Good Morning America.
Period.
It was very, very cool. We
Alex
all got
is
a chance
that girl.
to, she is that girl.
Yeah.
We've all gotten a chance to work with her. She's awesome. Now, it's National Cheeseburger Day. Hayden, what did you put on your cheeseburger?
I don't eat cheeseburger. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay,
of course I eat a cheeseburger. I like a classic cheeseburger. The only thing I will never put on a cheeseburger is a tomato. I can't stand tomatoes.
You know what? I agree with that.
I don't know why. I just never liked tomatoes. But everything else, I also like ketchup. Everything else I'm down for. Now the question is, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, relish.
Ketchup.
I was
just
gonna
ketchup.
say ketchup. I like mustard and mayonnaise, so that's my typical. Sometimes ketchup and mayonnaise have a good mixture.
Really?
Yeah, but those are the classic three, and I always go with those.
I think. Do you do the mix of the ketchup and the mayonnaise that Heinz sells, the one that comes in the bottle?
That is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
So,
all right.
don't
Okay.
do that.
Well, that's wrong.
Don't do that.
But the best thing to put on a cheeseburger is bacon.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean. Baconator,
Yep.
classic from Wendy's, Columbus chain. I'm from Columbus,
Yep.
so that I grew up on those. I still look great for growing up on them, but thank you. I appreciate the fact that Wendy's is a hometown staple for me. So
the square patties, they're really cool.
Yeah, SpongeBob square patties. And that's what I enjoy about a delicious burger.
Is Wendy's your favorite burger?
Honestly, yeah, it is.
Yeah?
And speaking of SpongeBob and Wendy's, apparently
Yes,
there's
allegedly?
going to be the new
There's
crossover.
a collab. They're
collab,
making a SpongeBob Krabby Patty, but in real life.
But it's just going to be a Wendy's burger.
It's just going to be a Wendy's burger, and they're putting a special sauce on it. You tell me what that means.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all the time we have left for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For the latest updates on stories that impact our community, go to the Kent Wired website and follow us on social media. I'm Hayden Cruz.
And I'm Liv Sharp. Have a great night, Portage County.
Eat a burger.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education.
No one receives a diploma alone.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Solo stage where the player spends most of it being hunted down by Infinite. The weapon that performed the best here was the Drill Wisp. Its ability to
he finally is like, I get it now. I get it. I have worth because I'm me. Yeah, and I really liked it a lot. Like, I'm not...
What are you staring at? How do you know it's me? No.